on the phone line joining us. You knew her as Rachel Waugh back in the day. Now she is Mrs. Rachel Eding. So she is with us. And on the other line is her husband, Alex, who also used to work for YesFM. So Mr. Alex Eding. Hello, guys.
Happy Sharathon!
Hi, guys. It is so good to be able to just spend some time with you. How awesome.
I got really psyched because I didn't know you were going to be here, Todd, just now. So, like, I'm on pins and needles just because I need my Todd time every once in a while. There's a quota that I need to fill. Am I right, Rach?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I was super stoked when I was like, Todd, damn it.
Well, we miss you guys tremendously. You guys were, well, I'm sure you still are. Even in Texas, I'm sure you guys are a joy wherever you go, and you just spread the joy of Jesus Christ. So we miss you guys tremendously. But for our listeners, tell us how you each were working here, how you came to get to YesFM, and then tell us what went on behind the scenes that I didn't know as the manager.
Oh, behind the scenes. Tell you what, Rach, why don't you start us off, because you started working there first.
Right. I had emailed Jeff and Todd. I had to do an internship for my marketing degree, and so I started in 2007 and just kind of helped out around the studio with things, and Jeff was like, do you want to try to be a DJ? And I'm like, sure, why not? Like, I never, ever dreamed that I would be on radio, and it was just so much fun. I love doing it, and I was there for quite a few years, mostly just kind of part-time, helping out with things, but gosh, I miss it a lot.
And then as far as my story with YesFM goes, I had listened to the station for a while, and my best friend Chris had heard one of the ads that said, you know, be a part-time DJ, submit a clip and a resume and things, and see what happens. And I did, and got to meet with you, Todd, and Jeff for the first time, and we seemed to hit it off all right in that room. That was my favorite job interview ever, because at the end of the job interview, I think Jeff said, okay, we want you to go home and pray about it, and then you call us and tell us what you think about working here, if you feel like God's put that on your heart, kind of a thing. And I was just like so blown away by being in an environment where it wasn't about the business. It was about, you know, what God's plan was for the station. It was so cool. And then just made all kinds of great friends and contacts through the station with different party crashes and things that we got to go to. Honestly, that was why I did it, was because the party crash scene was really, I felt like it was made for me, or I was made for it, to go and hang out with youth in the area and just kind of just party with people and just share joy and have a great time with that.
Yeah, and that kind of sums up you, Alex, right there. That sums up, that is you in a nutshell.
I had been referred to a few times as the king of the party crash back in the day. And I would never correct people because I have an ego and I love that.
All right, but then tell us about the two of you. Tell us about the two of you, because we didn't know that was going on.
We were just buddies for a long time at the station, and we would have Sharathons just like this. Every time Sharathon rolls around, I remember kind of where apparently things started to happen, and Rachel would be bringing, you know, some kind of baked treat, some kind of wonderful dessert thing into the station, because it was always all hands on deck, and everybody was in there just hanging out, manning the phones. And I would find whatever dessert it was that she had brought, and when I discovered it was made by her, I would make the joke. I'd say, just so you know, this is so good, we're getting married someday.
He did. I don't know
but
how
I had honestly
managed.
never, thought about, you know, actually following through on any of that stuff, because I knew it was a rule. It was like dating was not a thing between DJs at YesFM. In comes Rach. Rach, what's the next part of the story?
Well, sometimes you got to break the rules, but we became friends on Facebook, and he sent me this dessert recipe because I love making desserts, and it was called cookie cake pie.
I remember that.
You can only imagine. It's like chocolate chip cookie dough on the bottom, and then a cake baked in the middle of it. And don't bake it all at once. You're going to have to, piece it together to actually make it good because it gets real hard if you try to bake it all at once. I found that out the hard way. But he sent me this link, and it said, saw this and thought of you. It'll only make our future marriage that much sweeter.
Again, I'm joking at this point because it's a fun running gag.
See what happens when you joke, Alex?
So I went ahead and I made it, and I messaged him. I was like, hey, I'm going to be in town around this day. Hope you're hungry. I made the pie for you. And I don't think he knew how to take that at first.
I didn't. I got a text from her that said, hey, what are you doing? I'm going to bake that pie. I want to bring it up. And I knew that she lived in the Lima area. And so she was baking and then driving an hour and a half up to Toledo to have me be the first person to sample this dessert. And I got it. It was like a Sunday afternoon. I was having lunch with my friends after church, and I'm showing this text message to everyone going, what does this mean? What is going on? What is happening, you guys? And they're like, she likes you. Go have some pie. And yeah, we started hanging out, and we also kind of realized that there was an unwritten rule about spending dating time with other DJs was kind of not the best idea kind of a thing. So when we decided that we actually wanted to be a thing and make our relationship something that we were going to really go for, we decided it was time to come and talk to the man at the time when Todd was running the show, and super blindsided you, I think, with that information.
Yes, you did. Because, Alex, you're always joking around. So I thought, okay, you guys are just pranking me right now.
I remember you guys dropping this bombshell 5 minutes before I had to go on the air for a Toby Mac interview, and I'm like, you're telling me this now, and I've got to get it together to talk to Toby Mac. And I'm like, this is not fair.
Oh my gosh.
And then I remember telling Todd, you need to change the rule. You need to change the rule.
But Alex being Mr.
I went in with
Gallant.
that idea, and saying, I will, listen, if this is a thing, I'm happy to step down. It's okay that this is not my time at Yes FM anymore if we need to deal with it. So
you were gallant. You were the gallant man, laying down your own job for Rachel. That's awesome.
Well, my own job was very part-time. I think my last real paycheck was maybe $16 worth of, it was very small because it was, you don't work as a part-time DJ to make money over there. You work because it's part of a ministry and it's a really, really fun and cool experience.
Yeah, but if you got $16, that represented about 25 hours of work.
Back in the day, there's a conversion chart somewhere that we have to reference.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's what started it all. I love telling that story. Telling when people ask how we met, I'll be like, well, it all started with me liking dessert. And to this day, Rach still pokes me about that. She's like, you had no idea. And I didn't. I had no idea. I'm a super clueless boy.
So how many years you guys been married now?
We just celebrated 6.
Wow, that is amazing. Congratulations. That's awesome. And you guys are now in Texas. I will say there's one thing I'm disappointed about as we're talking to you both. I don't hear Texas...
Just that we're far away?
Well, that's the most disappointing, by far. But I don't hear Texas accents. And my philosophy is, in life, you're either influencing others or you're being influenced. So if you haven't been influenced by taking up the accent of Texas, that means, Alex, you're influencing Texas, and that's just a little worrisome.
Yeah, I would. You know what? Of the one or other way, I would definitely prefer to be influencing Texas than having Texas influence me.
Well, where's the accents? Where's the accents?
It comes and it goes, Tom.
Okay.
It's on and it's off. You know.
Rachel, can you give us a little Texas accent, Rachel?
I don't know, hi y'all, how's it going? I still have a very Ohio to it, but I throw in y'all every once in a while, and people think I'm from here, so it works out fine.
That's all that matters.
Although I think she used to throw in the y'alls every once in a while back up north, too. Remember, she's from Lima area, which is just south of Toledo enough that you start to get a little bit of a drawl in speech. And it's not a dig on the Lima people. It's just the farther south you go, even in Ohio, you do start to see that seep in with just that different dialect tone.
That's very true. Well, you guys were both an amazing part of Yes FM, and we are thankful beyond measure that Jesus gave us the opportunity to spend that time with you and to have you doing the things that you did here. We miss you guys amazingly, but we're thrilled for both of you. It's just excitement for, April and I are just both excited to have the chance to talk to you.
Yeah, I am so psyched about it, too. Yeah, thank you so much for having us on.
Hey, guys, the history and stuff, both of you having been part of Sharathons and the history of Yes FM, do you guys have Christian radio in your area?
Rach might know better than I do on this one, because I've started to turn into kind of a podcast guy, so okay. I'll listen to stuff like that I'm pre-downloading. Rach, you found some stations in the area, didn't you?
I did. I don't remember. I think it's like KCBI or something like that down here. They're actually they do a little more praise and worship music than like the hard rock that we're used to with the SFM. But it was funny. I was listening the other day in my car, and they were doing their Sharathon as well, and I was like, "Oh, I miss Sharathon." But I try to listen to you guys whenever I can because I do have the app on my phone. So if I'm at the gym or in the park or something. But yeah, it was weird how you guys have the same kind of schedule as far as Sharathons and things.
Why is it important? Maybe you guys can help us, in expressing this. Why do you think it's important to, support Christian radio, but specifically a radio station like ours, and we're reaching out to youth, to you guys? Because you were listening when you were, younger too. Why is that important?
Well, for me, I've always loved and really connected with the idea that when you're supporting Sharathon, especially for Yes FM, little plug, that the idea is that, especially grown-ups, because granted, we on Yes FM, I say it like I'm still there.
You are.
You still are.
We're reaching out to, in everyone's hearts, it's so beautiful. Thanks, y'all. We're reaching out to the youth. And the youth are not really who we expect to gain, that listener support from. The youth, these kids are young. They don't necessarily have jobs, and the ones that do are trying to save up so they can go to the movies and get pizza with their friends on Friday nights after, like, the football game or something. The value that comes in working and donating for Yes FM is that this is a missions ministry in a way.
Yeah.
The mission is reaching out to young people through music that they listen to, through the styles and performers that they are drawn to. And if you're treating something like Yes FM as a missions movement, as a missions push, it really can kind of change that perception on why, what I'm doing with my offerings, with my tithing to do. We love, to this day, we still get newsletters and everything because I don't think we'll ever stop being, monthly supporters of the station because we always give back. I was just talking to Rach the other day, and I said, if I can manage to pull off this crazy pipe dream that we're chasing right now in Texas, which is me getting into cartoon voiceover and actually becoming an actor and becoming successful in that industry, I would love to be able to reimburse all the ministries that I've worked for over the years to kind of turn the hours that I have worked and gotten paid for into volunteer hours retroactively. I think that would be the coolest thing to be able to do.
That's very cool.
And then, of course, build on top of that because the money in voiceover, if you can get the work, is lucrative. I'm just working on getting that work right now so I can, kind of build into that direction. Rach, do you have any thoughts about, building on the ministry like that?
Well, I know a lot of people like me in my personal life. I love to have music playing all the time. And it really does affect you, what you're feeding into your body, what you're listening to. And I just think that Yes FM is just a great radio station for that. No matter what you're going through, there's always something that's gonna catch you and be like, oh, that's my situation right now. And I don't know, I'm getting like emotional. I just love the station so much. But it's just been such a blessing to us, as I'm sure to many other people out there.
Well, you guys have been a blessing to us and to many more than you realize, and you'll never know how many ways Jesus used you guys when you were here to impact lives. So we just appreciate you taking the time. We miss you guys tremendously. I'm just surprised as soon as you guys crossed the border into Texas that the Christian radio stations didn't try to sign you guys up right away.
They haven't chased me down yet. They'll never catch me, Todd. There's one radio station that I'm going to have worked for, and it's Yes FM.
Good answer.
Nothing will ever beat it.
Good answer.
Guys, we just thank you so much for being willing to share your story. I mean, I contacted them through Facebook, and it's like, oh yeah, we're on board within like a day. We had this figured out of like when we were going to get them on. So thank you so much for willing to go on in the fly and just sharing your story and your hearts, and we just super appreciate you guys. And I don't think it's a pipe dream, Alex. You know, considering that you used to do all those voiceovers for me when I was in production, Scottish Brogue, and your Billy Blanks impression, and whatever else would come out of you. Man, I know that God is gonna use that. He's gonna use that in major ways. And Miss Rachel, who management and what you're doing now, the quiet leader. Always the quiet leader behind the scenes. So watch out for her. She's known as the tiny wife, and though she be little, she's fierce.
Tiny wife.
Hashtag tiny wife. Yes, but though she be little, she be fierce. Yeah. So guys, I just love you so much, and thank you so much for being a part of this.
Thanks, guys.
Love you guys too. Thank you so much for thinking to include us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Always good to hear your voices.
Rachel and Alex Eding. You used to know her as Rachel Waugh back in the day before Alex stole her away, stole her heart, and we're just so thankful for them and their ministry here and just the part that they played here. And this is what it's all about, you guys, is coming together and having an amazing family to be able to be part of your family as well. It's one big family.